So, you want to do a mini cut, you've come to the right place. What is a mini cut? A mini cut is a fat loss phase which can last anywhere between 10 days to 4 weeks, 6 weeks in some cases. I would say anywhere between a week to 6 weeks. This is a shortened fat loss phase. Typically, fat loss phases can be anywhere between 8 to 16 weeks, as this is better to take this process slowly, whereas a mini cut is better to half that time, essentially, because it is called a mini cut. So what you would do is reduce your maintenance calories by around about 500 calories. For a typical fat loss phase, usually your calorie deficit starts smaller as you're taking the process slower. This way you lose fat and retain as much muscle over time. Whereas the mini cut, you can get away with going lower in calories due to the fact that it is for a shortened period. So one of the first things you need to do is establish your maintenance calories. How do you work out your maintenance calories? Well, you have a number of ways. Of course, we know we have a lot of online calorie calculators which one can use, which are kind of accurate, I'd say. Not the best. Personally, I'll take your body weight in pounds and times that by 14, 15 or 16, depending on your level of activity. So the lower side, 14, would be if you're not so active during the day, whereas 16 is fairly active. In the middle, you're about moderately active. So in my case, this would be taking my weight of 84 kilos, which is about 185 pounds, and multiplying that by 15. That gives you 2,775 calories, which would be my maintenance. So I round that up to 2,800. Then comes the next important part, where you want to establish your macronutrient split. And this is important for anyone regardless of which kind of diet you're following. You want to know the exact amount of carbs, protein and fats you are taking in. And this is the key. Most people tend to overcomplicate this, especially nowadays with social media, citing keto or vegan diet or vegetarian diet or 1 meal a day diet as their secret to fat loss, whereas all these diets have one thing in common. Anyone who has good results from these diets in terms of fat loss is just because they've been placed into a calorie deficit. There's no magic in just eating vegetables. There's no magic in cutting out carbs from your diet. It's just the fact that you've reduced the amount of food you eat. Therefore, you've gone into a calorie deficit and lost weight. So, how do you set up your macros? That's what I'm going to show you now. So first, you need to establish your body weight. After that, you need to establish your maintenance calories. So you take your body weight in pounds and multiply that by your level of activity. In my case, I've taken 185 pounds and multiplied it by 15 to give me 2,800 calories. Prior to this, it's good also to know whether this is your true maintenance. So what you want to do is eat 2,800 calories for a week and find out whether that's your maintenance. How you do this is track your body weight first thing in the morning, naked, before eating anything, preferably after you've been to the bathroom, if you can, and take that average over 7 days. That divided by 7 is your true body weight. So if my body weight was to hover between 183 to 186, I'll take the average of that, and if that leaves, wherever that leaves me, that's my actual maintenance calories for my body weight, and you take that as your average. After you've established that, you need to break down your carbs, fat and protein. To calculate your fats, you want to take your body weight in pounds, so in my case 185 pounds, and multiply that by 0.35. So for fats, you have a range. You can do anywhere between 0.3 to 0.4, has been shown by multiple studies to be the most optimal for fats. Why is fat in your diet important? It's very important in your hormone regulation. There are countless studies on this, so it's another group that I personally would not recommend eliminating from your diet, and ensure you achieve a healthy, and you include a healthy amounts of fats in your diet. So for me personally, I'll take my body weight, which is 185 pounds, multiply that by 0.35. I've taken the middle of that range. That gives me my total amount of fats in grams. We need to know essentially how many calories in 1 gram of fat. 1 gram of fat equates to 9 calories. So simply like this, body weight in pounds, 185 times 0.35 gives you about 65 grams of fat. So that's the amount of fat you want to be consuming per day. 65 times 9 gives you 585 calories. Boom. There you go, that's your fat content calculated. Next up, the big debate, protein. Well, typically the average is you take your body weight in pounds and times it by 1. So if you're 185 pounds, you should be taking in 185 grams of protein. For me, I think this is too much. Personally, I've always been on the lower side of protein. You can do it if you want. Some people go up to 1.2 per pound of body weight, but I don't think it's necessary. I've seen studies that people go as low as 0.8 and have very good results. So I don't think you need to overdo protein and overload your diet with it. It is good because it does keep you fuller for longer. Personally, I'll take my body weight in pounds and multiply it by 0.9. We know that in 1 gram of protein, there is 4 calories. So simply, protein equals 167 grams, because 185 times 0.9 gives you 167 grams of protein. 167 grams multiplied by 4 gives you 688 calories. Then comes the hard part, the carbs. What do you do with the carbs, right? Oh wait, no, it's the easy part, because whatever's left is your carbs. So you basically take the leftovers and that gives you your carb amount. So the leftovers is gonna be essentially, from 2,800, you take away 585, which is your fat, you take away 688, which is your protein. Subtract those, that leaves you with, as you see at the bottom, 1,547 calories. All those calories are coming from your carbs. You take that number, divide it by 4, that gives you 387 grams of carbs. That is your macronutrient split right there. So, as I know that I have a lot to play with in my carbs, I have 1,547 calories. Essentially, I'll take off 500 calories from the carbs. So 1,547, subtract 500 gives me 1,047 calories. We know that in 1 gram of carbs there is 4 calories, so we just divide that number by 4. That gives us 262 grams of carbs. So for my Minicut, that's it. I take off the 500 calories from there, keep my protein high, keep my fats high, because they personally keep me fuller. So my calories for my Minicut was 2,300 calories. So that is it. So I myself did a 10-day fat loss transformation. So I'll show you the results here. This was the starting point, the so-called starting physique, let's say, at around 187 pounds. That's about 85.2 kilos. And over 10 days at 2,300, I had a good amount of fat loss. I went down to about 182 pounds. It's about 82.8. So I think I lost about 2.5 kilos in 10 days. 2,300 is quite low for me, quite drastic, and it was a rapid fat loss. So you see that the differences in the two physiques here from the start at day 1 and here at day 10. So there's quite a difference, I would say, in terms of the leanness, vascularity, etc. That was the main things I noticed, being more vascular, leaner. So in 10 days, it is actually possible to have a great difference in your physique. I don't really feel so hungry, personally, and it's very quick and effective to do. I think Minicuts are great if you want to just dip in and quickly tighten up your physique, let's say. I don't know if you have a holiday coming up, or you're going to a wedding this summer, if they're possible, somewhere in the world. I don't know. But that's essentially what I did. I just did it for the purposes of this video, the Minicut, because here in Italy we're going into another lockdown, so that is that. The last part I want to touch upon is my training. So how am I training currently? Well, big misconception, whether gyms are open or not, or whatever you do for your training stays the same in any fat loss phase, and even in a gaining phase. You keep your training the same. A big misconception is you need to go into this high intensity, high cardio, short rest time, ridiculously high reps, fat burning mode, which has no sense. I mean, if you train heavy to build muscle, you train heavy to keep your muscle. It's the same thing. For me personally, right now, how I am training is essentially 4 times per week. 4 times per week, I train an upper-lower split. 2 upper body days and 2 lower body days. But due to the fact that I have limited equipment, I also do 2 park workouts, where one day, which is typically a Monday, I will go and do 10 sets of pull-ups, supersetted with 10 sets of dips. So this is just to get extra volume, personally for my back, because the back is a very large muscle group, which is hard to train with very low weights, let's say. The dumbbells I have goes up to a maximum of 17 kilos, which isn't great. So I do a lot of pull-ups, which I think has helped to maintain some strength and size in my back. So I do 10 sets of pull-ups and 10 sets of dips. I do dips with a slight lean just because this hits the chest more, and I find dips more enjoyable than push-ups personally. So I get more out of this. And on a Friday, I will typically do a lower sets workout where I'll just do 5 sets of dips and pull-ups, but more reps. So I might do a 5 sets of 10 or 5 sets of 12 on pull-ups, and then 5 sets of 15, 16 on the dips. That's typically my Monday and Friday workout, which is these 2 park workouts to supplement. The other days, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm doing an upper-lower workout. My upper workouts consist of a single arm standing dumbbell OHP, followed by a dumbbell row, then some resistance band push-ups. To make the push-ups harder, I do a 3-second pause at the bottom and more time under tension to make the push-up harder, followed by some lateral raises, and then some bicep tricep isolations is my upper body workout right now. For the lower body, I'm currently doing lunges, which have been great to maintain size in my legs. Surprisingly, my legs are not great genetically. They lose size very quickly when I don't train them frequently and heavy. But lunges have been a miracle. Like, they've really helped, and they are tough. Good for conditioning, stabilization. So I've really been enjoying those. Plus, I've been doing some resistance band leg curls, along with some Bulgarian split squats, which is another great isolateral movement, superset with stiff leg Romanian deadlifts. And that's another part I want to touch upon. To make anything harder now, if you have limited equipment, is to do the isolateral version. So anywhere where you're just training one leg or one arm at a time, or one side of your body at a time, is a lot better. So the Bulgarian split squats, lateral raises, one arm dumbbell shoulder presses, stuff like this is great. One arm dumbbell rows, because with the less weights, it makes the movement more challenging as you're just using one side of your body. So that's currently my workout split. So that's how I've been training as well. Cardio wise, I've started doing skipping finally, trying to improve my skipping. So I'm doing skipping about 2 times per week right now, and that's what I did for my mini cut, let's say. My training essentially stayed the same. So I'm doing a 4 workout, we could say 6 workouts per week, but I'll just say 4 because my park workouts are very short. And I'm trying to do muscle ups again because why not? So I'll finish off now with the transformation. So here are the pictures. I know, shocking, man. It's like crazy difference. And this is the video. This is the difference in physique from day 1 to day 10. I hope this is useful for some people, especially if you wanted to know how to calculate your macros and basically how to set up your mini cart where you can pull the calories from. You can also pull it from your protein and fats if you wanted to, whatever you prefer. But this is how I would do it personally. Thanks for tuning in, and catch you in the next video, peeps. Peace out.
That I defy the laws of physics. I ain't think it was possible for a check that had as many digits. Mathematically exquisite, and my cocky just a smidgen. If you want beef, then we can supersize it. Freshman in the game, so they wanna haze me like